Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh, this is the part I don't like.
On a scale of 1 to 10,
Okay.
10 being the highest score,
Okay.
1 being the worst. How do you rate this book?
I'd give her 7.
7.
Yes, because since I've been doing the book club, this is the first time that we've had an action thriller. We've had a book that actually almost make you lie down on the floor when they're talking about the bullets whizzing past the people and people running and scattering. I'd give it a 7.
A 7.
Yes.
Why not a 9?
Why not a 9? Because of how it ends.
Which I don't want you to tell viewers.
Yeah, I will tell them. Yes.
Okay. Why not a 5?
Why not a 5? No. The information in that book, no. You can't give it a 5.
Takes me back to the question I asked you earlier.
Okay.
The value of this book for you, I mean, would it come from the enlightenment about the Niger Delta, or would it come from the entertainment, just the plain fun the book provides?
I'd say the enlightenment, because following this book, I've been forced to, not like anybody forced me, but just reading this book, I've been forced to go and educate myself and read more about see what other writers have put out about the Niger Delta and what's going on with the people over there.
Would you rather read a non-fiction about the Niger Delta than a fiction novel like this about the Niger Delta?
I think a non-fiction would be gruesome. I think I'd be crying reading that. Because if I'm reading this, and I'd share with you a picture of me actually reading this, and when I was reading it, someone asked me, "You look so serious, what was going on?" I was like, I was running. And but it was like, but you were sitting there. I was like, in my mind, I was running. But I feel that non-fiction would be gruesome. And I don't know how I would be able to handle that emotionally, because this story of the Niger Delta people is something that we have ignored a lot. Like, for me, I feel that if you're not in an environment, or if you're not with that certain group of people, you don't really pay as much attention as you're supposed to. Like, for instance, in a country, when we hear, oh, there's a bombing or something, you call your family members. Once they're okay, you're fine. But wait, 50 other people just died. But because your family member is fine, you've ignored that. You've ignored what is happening. So I feel like if I read a non-fiction, I would probably break down because, like, just reading this and doing research, I'm more aware of what my people are going through, what Nigerian people in that region are going through.
Okay. Apart from the ending, what else didn't you like when you read it?
What didn't I like? I didn't like the fact that the lead character, he sacrificed his family name. He sacrificed a lot of things. He sacrificed his relationships just to fight for the environment, just to fight for his people, just to fight for a cause. And at the end of the day, what does he get?
Spoiler alert.
Well, you think that was a spoiler?
Big spoiler.
Big spoiler. Oh, people need to go and read the book.
Okay, so how would you classify this book? What genre would you put this book? Drama, action, thriller,
Action thriller.
a combination.
Yeah, combination of action thriller.
Not too many Nigerians write action thriller.
No, not that I know of. No, it's more drama.
What impression did this give you? I mean, reading, I don't know if it's your first action thriller written by a Nigerian.
It is.
That you've read.
It is.
I mean, what impression did it give you? Did you think she had a good grasp of that genre?
I think she did. She did, absolutely. And this is a script right here for anybody who wants to shoot a film, saying you want to shoot an original action film by a Nigerian. This is a film for you. I think so.
So, what do you think about Nigerian writers generally? After reading this, what did this change your impression about Nigerian writers, or did it revalidate what you've always thought about Nigerian writers? What did this book do to you in terms of encouraging you or discouraging you to read Nigerian literature, as the case may be?
I'd say there's encouragement there, and I'd say like this book just tells you inspiration comes from everywhere. Like I was privileged to actually meet Jacqueline at the Lagos Book and Art Festival in 2015.
Oh, okay.
And she mentioned that she was inspired, like just visiting the Niger Delta, and even she was like, "What's wrong with them? Why are they always?" And then someone had to explain to her, and that was what inspired her to write the book. So I'd say there's a lot of encouragement in here.
Is she from the Niger Delta?
I'm not sure she is. Her middle name is Uche.
Right now, I'm very bothered. I'm very concerned about the fact that a lot of Nigerians are still not reading Nigerian literature. Now, the more I read Nigerian literature, the more fascinated I get, because Nigerian writers are enormously gifted.
They're amazing.
I've been reading some Nigerian novels.
Okay.
I mean, books recently, and who is talking about these guys? You know, because
we are.
Yeah, because they are incredibly gifted.
Yes, they are.
You know, the stories are interesting. They are Nigerian stories. You know, when you read a book that is set in an environment you are familiar with, there's something it does to you. So what's going on? Why are more people not reading these books? What's going on?
Do you really want the answer to that?
Yes, I do.
The answer is they just haven't found the right book. They haven't found the right book. Because, I mean, you go to a bookstore and sometimes you find you're overwhelmed. You're surrounded by so many books, you don't know where to start from. So most times it's based on recommendation. So I think for most people, they just haven't found the right book.
Did you enjoy reading this?
I did. I did enjoy reading it.
So it wasn't about you had to come on the show.
No. Well, maybe it was about coming on the show. I'm joking. I absolutely enjoyed reading this.
That's good. All right. So I'm going to ask you to please read for us somewhere from A Pelican of the Wilderness.
Okay.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. The part I'm reading from, the people had gone to meet the governor to talk to him about the oil companies and their livelihoods, and it was a peaceful gathering where they had no weapons with them whatsoever.
Okay.
The crowd scattered in 1,000 directions, screaming, crying, falling, and running for their lives. The zebra lunged at Tompre and wrestled him to the ground. Bullets whistled overhead, and they heard people cry out, fall down, moan pitifully, and then remain eternally silent. When there was a momentary lull in the shooting, the zebra dragged Tompre across the hot, stony ground and headed for some nearby bushes. Tompre was in shock. This was treachery, but it was not the time to determine who had set the trap. They had to survive the onslaught first.
Now, you said that this is already a good story for a movie.
Absolutely.
Why is there not enough synergy, between our writers and the movie makers in Nigeria? Why are we not seeing more books, more novels being converted into movies in Nigeria? That should be happening, isn't it?
I mean, that should be happening, and it is happening, although it might not necessarily be within home. Like, for instance, a couple of years ago, we had Chimamanda's book,
Half of a Yellow Sun,
which was turned into a movie. And then also this Kenyan actress, Lupita Nyong'o, she's bought the rights to Americana.
Okay.
Yes, and then The Beast of No Nations, which is by Okonjo-Iweala's son. What's his name?
Yes, forgotten his name, but
yes,
yeah,
Beast of No Nations. And I mean, that had Idris Elba, and that was like a major film, even though it wasn't shown internationally in the big cinemas, but on Netflix, and then at least it's showing here in cinemas. And that the translation of that was really good. I think there is synergy, and it's picking up slowly. Though.
Slowly.
Let's pick it up slowly.
Okay, you did it. Okay, great. Who's your favorite character here? The boa, the zebra, Tompre.
Ooh. Can I say two people? I'd say Tompre.
That's the lead character.
The lead character. And I'd also say his dad, his father. Even though, like, between themselves, it was as though they didn't understand each other, but his father loved him.
Thank you very much, Princess,
Thank
for
you.
joining us on the channel's book club.
Thank you for having me here.
Nice to have
Can't
you.
wait to come back.
Thank you.